Hey guys and gals, Never here for Drake Wayne Gaming, Study Mouse, what are the gaming drag today? I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Beasts of the Thorns. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, we're up, and let's go. The outcast not accepted by either world. There's no seat at any table for me. I sit on a bench by the road, a vagrant's bench, perfect for someone like me without a seat. Feeling tired, so tired. But in the distance, the orchestra plays cheerful music, laughter and chatter fill the air. I really wish they'd be quiet forever. What's there to be happy about? Before an uncertain future, laughter feels like mockery. We'll all end up forever silent, with no annoying laughter ever again. Just as I'm about to curl up on the bench and sleep, I'm rudely slapped. Darwin's sour face appears before me. What are you doing? Darwin is quite unpleasant. I don't know what's going on with you, but Virgolacus has sent someone to watch you. How can you be so oblivious? Whatever. It's your business in the outer realm, nothing to do with me. Do as you please. The hyena's brow furrowed, worry flashing across his face. He looked around as if to determine just how many people were watching. He lifted my helmet and looked me over. Then he raised his palm and slapped it on my helmet. What are you doing? Although his hand on the helmet didn't cause me pain, I felt offended. Only to see Darwin smiling with his teeth. Good, you're finally reacting. He roughly pulled me up, grabbed my hand, and headed towards a light motorcycle parked by the side of the road. Kidnapping! Is this something you should say to your vice president? Stop arguing and come back to the Brotherhood with me. A vice president who is not trusted is not a vice president. The words pierced Darwin deeply, causing him to tremble, but he didn't retort. Instead, he hoisted me onto the back seat of the motorcycle, then revved the engine and sped off. He was silent the whole way. I felt so sorry for him. As bad as his manners were, after all, he was caring about me in his own way, and I shouldn't step on his pain ungratefully. I sighed. I'm sorry, saying those things about the vice president. It's true, anyway. There's nothing to apologize for. Listen, I don't want to appear ungrateful. I said it was fine. The hyena abruptly interrupted the conversation. You'd be doing me a huge favor if you just didn't wave around like a piglet and attract a string of Virgolacus strays to follow your ass. The rest of them are pretty restless these days. Don't go ruffling their feathers. I was just blocked by them an hour ago. Darwin glanced at me with a surprised expression. I can't believe you've got some backbone. You're not missing the arms or legs. Those stray dogs are no match for you, are they? Did you alert the police? Hey, why are you so violent? Are you really the vice president of the Wild Hunt? The hyena smacked his lips in displeasure. I was just kidding. Come on, don't scare people like that. Just beat them until they piss themselves and they won't dare call the police. Oh. Goodness. Ow, goodness. Blah. I want to get off. I'm joking. No, I'm sure you've definitely done this before. Do I look that bad to you? I respond with silence. Darwin clicked his tongue disapprovingly. Members these days don't know how to respect the officers. That's only if you behave respectably. You've been picking on Chris and bullying newer members lately. I'm not against him. The hyena is a little discouraged. Well, it's kind of... I can't figure it out. Ostrom has been playing some kind of dangerous game lately, frequently treading into gray areas. He should understand that his every move is under the scrutiny of the Council, and if he crosses the line too much, he'll be caught. And the Council is always ready to do just that. Darwin sighed. I'm not trying to target your friend. I'm just a bit anxious. The Council has eyes inside the Brotherhood. I can't indefinitely cover for Ostrom. I come from a middle-class family. I don't have any powerful connections to rely on. If things go south, I'll be left high and dry. And this time with Chris, Ostrom won't leak a word to me. I'm indeed not trusted. The hyena is depressed. I fell silent. I don't know how to comfort the hyena, and of course, I'm not good enough. I don't know the extent of Darwin's friendship with Ostrom, but Darwin obviously admires Ostrom. In the end, I just had to be quiet and let Darwin drive me wherever he wanted. Darwin's motorcycle, though electric, was quite capable of running around the campus, and the last part of the uphill climb to the fraternity house was easily climbed, and he drove me to the gate and let me down. Go ahead. I'll have a smoke. Then he pulled out his catnip cigarette and leaned against his motorcycle and puffed on it. He was kind of a lonely guy smoking. I gave him one last look and pushed myself in. Sitting at the counter is Hare, whom we met once before, and he is listening in silence as Ostrom assigns tasks. Darwin will give you the supplies for the hunt later, which you will assign to your squad. There are 2 big families coming to watch this hunt, so make the most of it. The Hare nodded. Then Ostrom turned his attention to his schedule and spoke to me carelessly. How are you, Hess? How's the program going? So-so. Very well. He malted the itinerary. I'd like to ask you to take Chris out for a walk this afternoon. I don't know what's going on between you two, but nothing gets done with a big sad dog, and I don't have time to waste with him. It looks like Chris was depressed when he got back to the fraternity after the interview. Chris's first hunt is very important to him, and I hope he can give his best performance, but he's a bit stubborn. It would be even better if you could convince him to team up with Amor. If you can explain what you're plotting, I'd consider cooperating. Ostrom seemed to bristle a bit. This won't work. I promised Chris to keep it confidential. You'll have to pry it out of that dog's mouth yourself, but he's as tight-lipped as a clam. I can only give advice. I cannot force you to choose. Of course, I have full confidence in your wisdom, and you should theoretically be able to make the best choice. Ostrom pushed Chris over to me and went back to his office to take care of paperwork. Although I didn't expect to get any useful information from Ostrom, after all, he didn't even inform Vice President Darwin of his plans. I was furious with his attitude. The whole thing started when Ostrom used Nud to persuade Chris to join the wild hunt, and Ostrom should be held most responsible for that, and now he's blaming me for it, knowing that I won't leave Chris alone. Even though it was only natural for me to help Chris, the fact that I was letting Ostrom benefit at the same time was upsetting and felt like I was being set up. But it's Chris who pisses me off even more. What's he trying to do on his own this time? Once again, he's hiding out to lick his wounds, not letting me know, not letting me help. I pressed my emotions to find Chris. When I looked up and around, all I saw was the silent Hare signaling me to look in the basement. I nodded my thanks to him and walked down to the basement. Sorry about that, y'all. The basement was buzzing with people. There were probably no less than 20 people using the equipment in the basement, and Bjorn was supervising a group of bears doing weight training, filling the basement with body heat. In the next corner, there was a dog sitting on a bench, staring in frustration, and it was Chris. Ostrom was right. He did look bad. He looked so pathetic that it took some of the anger out of my heart. I walked toward him and saw his ears twitch, but he didn't turn his head to look at me. But I knew he recognized my footsteps. How'd the interview go? Ostrom took care of my landlord, and no one dared to hire me. Ostrom wasn't too happy about it either. He thought I was underestimating the difficulty of the hunt, and that I didn't have enough time to earn a meager hourly wage, especially when I couldn't master the zone yet. Why didn't you team up with Amor? No! Chris almost roared his refusal. Quite a few people in the basement cast curious glances. I'm just your burden. You listen to me, and I'll figure out the rest. Chris gritted his teeth, but he didn't dare turn his eyes to me. Chris. Chris's ears twitched, and I knew he heard me calling him, but he didn't respond. Chris. I increased my voice, and he reluctantly turns to me. Will you please not do anything risky? There's no risk. I can handle it. I continue to stare at him, and he still avoids my gaze. His behavior was too easy to read, and I was completely unsettled. Eventually, he hemmed and hawed under my silent pressure. I just want to make Dad proud. But I can't help you. I'm too weak. I have no claws or teeth. I can't help you hunt. It wouldn't make sense without you. He's stubborn. And there's not enough time, so can't we compromise? In fact, I think Ostrom is right. Amor can help. I don't want to. He looked up at me with a pleading face. My first catch, I want to share it with you. You're my brother, and it means a lot to me. You know I can't say no to your doggy eyes, right? Chris doesn't make that face. Ugh! I know it's useless to push him. Once he's made up his mind, there's nothing he can do to change it. I sighed helplessly and changed the subject. Ostrom complained to me that you were distracted and asked me to take you out for a walk to change your mood. I'm running out of time. I have to master the zone fast. Why don't you at least stop and eat first? You can't do anything on an empty stomach. The big dog hesitated. All right, just don't take too much time. We can use the fraternity kitchen to simply make sandwiches, and I'll ask to see Bjorn to see if those are available. Chris nodded and went back to his practice. I approached Bjorn, who was supervising the squad's workout. He noticed me and greeted me warmly and cordially. Hello, Hess. What's up? I would like to use the fraternity kitchen. Is there a fee to pay or anything I should be aware of? Feel free to eat whatever you want without worrying. The Brotherhood will foot the bill. Just be careful when using the kitchen utensils. The kitchen's temperature-sensitive fire detector is very sensitive. A high flame can trigger it. I'm glad the Brotherhood has added members interested in exploring the culinary arts. Let's explore the new world of cuisine together. I'm pretty sure we're not a cooking club. The bear let out an exaggerated laugh. Anyway, feel free to use it. It's a shameful waste of a fully functioning kitchen when fraternity members don't usually cook and only know how to heat up frozen food in a microwave. Alright, I'll clean up after myself. Thanks in advance. Do me a favor and drag Darwin to dinner on your way. He's probably too lazy to eat again and let himself get hungry. Just in case he refuses, tell him I've made beef tartare and a raw egg on top, and he'll eat it. I nodded, back-dialed, and got Amor on the phone as well. You go ahead. I need to freshen up. You have half an hour. After that, I'll drop you off here myself so you can eat your lunch in front of a bunch of starving athletes looking at you with resentment. Chris shrunk his neck. He knew I could do it. It will take Amor about 10 minutes to arrive at the Brotherhood house, and I have plenty of time to prepare the food. I decided to finish Bjorn's feeding task first and let Darwin rest and eat. Even though Ostrom doesn't deliver much work to Darwin, the hyena finds his own work to do to keep him busy. The way he tries to prove his worth all the time makes me want to feel sorry for him. Though he's impolite and rude, he's serious and capable. It's just that this ability is as good as nothing for Ostrom. Darwin was taking inventory of the supplies to be handed out in the mead hall for what was not sure how many times he had double-checked, his confirmation list full of marks. Darwin. Hess, what's the matter? How's the job? It's the same shit as always. What could possibly go wrong? If all is well, why don't you drop your work for lunch first? Darwin just waved the catnip cigarette in his hand, indicating that it was his lunch. The monsters can't survive on nepitolactone. But I couldn't live without it. You're not alive, either. So I don't have to eat, either. Eating is for the living. That's true. I don't know what the ecological characteristics of necromantic creatures are, and maybe Darwin really doesn't need to eat. And I'll give Chris the beef tartare that Bjorn made. That's when Darwin put down his checklist. Are the eggs above chicken eggs or quail eggs? You can choose any egg you want. Okay, for the sake of beef tartare. Let's go. The hyena simply tossed aside the checklist and pushed his way out of the mead hall. I followed. Darwin pushed open the kitchen door and started rummaging around. It looked like he really liked the beef tartare, but Darwin's mindless searching through the dry cabinet and the canning cabinet was futile. Tartare is a raw meat dish. It should be kept in a refrigerator anyway. I opened the refrigerator door and saw that Bjorn had packed all kinds of dishes in separate glass boxes, one of which was tartare beef. Give me that. Not yet. I'll find an egg. What kind of egg do you want? Quail eggs. I'll take 3. I rummaged through the egg compartment of the refrigerator and found a lot of strange eggs inside. After removing 2 huge unidentified eggs, I eventually found quail egg boxes hidden deep inside, and I pulled a few of them out. Give me that. My God, this hyena suddenly became very sticky. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Be a good boy and sit down. Darwin reluctantly sat down at the center island counter and waited for me. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to have a quick shout-out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all you do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver, and thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 3 gold tier patrons, Zeke, Toby, and Blue Wolf Alpha. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names and credits, get access to all of our Not Safe for Work contents as little as $5. If y'all want to donate to our Patreon, then super thanks for as little as $5 on YouTube. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!